Jess on his right. Hey, hold up. Don't
Bob on his
start a
right,
fight.
left.
He's got you covered with all the sports. Don't fret, he's wearing shorts. It's time for Waking Jake in the morning. Waking Jake at night. Jake sucks.
Good morning, Bakers. A special, very special episode of Waking Jake and Bobby and BBD this morning. We are joined by Talking Giants, Jomboy media football specialist, former offensive lineman, great at, I'm blanking on the university right now,
St. Meatloaf.
St. Mules in Minnesota, Bobby Skinner. Bobby Skins, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Finally glad to. I think this is my first experience on the Jomboy Media channel, so I'm ready for whatever the commenters have for me.
Wow, a star is born. Leave your mean comments about Bobby. We have Bobby. If you don't know, I just said a little bit, but he runs and started Talking Giants with Justin Pennick. And he's going to be doing a ton of football stuff. You consider yourself an O-line guru?
I don't like using the word guru, but I'm an O-line guy. Like, I like to highlight the offensive line play. That's the stuff that people like that I do the most because I think that's what I know the most about. So, yeah, I'm an O-line guy.
Yeah, man, and it's I won't hype you up too much. I'll tell the people to give the follow. But dude, some of your videos are awesome. I mean, and that's a couple of the questions I'm going to be asking you about the playoff stuff. I'm interested to see because I don't know the dynamics of a football team really playing another football team for the third time. Like I don't know, for O-line and D-line, that's got to suck, man. Like banging against the same dude for, 200 times a year. Somebody could clip that if they want. So
might be some people's dream,
Yeah, that's especially BBD just lit up in the corner. But for the Wake and Jake community, we'll keep it rolling. We'll keep the seggies up for you guys. Why would you abbreviate segments? We'll do the game of the night, and if you can see BBD's beautiful outfit in the corner, we are going to the Knicks because Bobby also wanted to fight us on this. The New York Knicks, they're playing the Jazz last night. It's a little bit of an after story across the United States, but they're getting beat up by the Jazz. The Knicks looked awful. They go down 27-20. They're down at the half. Julius Randle's looking like Julius Randle of old. Knicks Twitter is starting to turn on each other. And then Bob Seger turned the page, baby. Knicks take the third quarter, 34-19. Julius Randle is doing it. Elfrid Payton, Bobby's guy, New Orleans legend. I've got a Elfrid Payton fun fact that's going to make BBD blush in a second, so I'll wait till we bring him back. And then Austin Rivers. Knicks fans were getting excited about Quivers, Quickly and Rivers. It turned into Pavers. Peyton and Rivers. Austin Rivers goes off, man. 23 points, 14 in a row to basically close out the game. He's hitting some peacock three-point shots. And Knicks ran away with it. They win 112-100. They were down 11 at the half to a good Jazz team. And the New York Knicks are, for the for the second time over this decade, they are fun. Knicks win 112-100. Julius Randle 30, 16, and 7. Mitch Robb 13 boards. Elfrid Payton 22 and 8. With Rivers 23. So, game of the night, obviously a biased one for me and Big Baby David.
It's also the game we watched.
Yeah, we watched it, so we could probably speak about it semi-intelligently. But Bobby, we were texting before this, and you had mentioned you wanted to talk about the Knicks, so I'll kick it to you.
I haven't been on Twitter for too long, so this is the first time I've ever seen positive Knicks Twitter. Around 4 o'clock, it's like, hey, we got bigger things to focus on. The Knicks go 5-3, and we just moved on, which was a beautiful thing to see. Are you guys? I'm about to talk with the entertainer on my channel, who's a big Knicks fan, and he's like taking shots of like Kevin Durant. You didn't want any part of this. Like, are you guys actually high on the mountain, or is it just enjoying the moment?
It's enjoying the moment.
Enjoying the moment. It's the line people use is just it feels like there's adults in the room and seeing results on the court. It does feel like things are actually going well, like big picture.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
8-man
small
rotation,
picture, obviously none of
2
this
nights in a row.
matters, but
There's just a world where it's like, okay, Tom Thibodeau is a good coach, and there's a world where R.J. Barrett is legit, and there's a world where, Mitch Robb actually has a role. My favorite thing from this box score, and this is a classic, like dumb sports guy saying, what my favorite thing is? Like, what? Julius Randle's 30 and 16 is pretty good. Mitchell Robinson played 41 minutes last night.
and
2 fouls.
well,
And his
part of it.
his
But 2 fouls all
biggest
game.
thing is he can't stay on the court because of foul trouble. So
That's been like not an issue this year, which is pretty awesome. And we'll get into the nitty gritty on talking Knicks at the end of the week.
add.
Add.
But yeah. So I don't know, Bobby. Are you can we have it or no?
No, I'm not gonna let you down, but I will say I did get a little annoyed at people being like, Nets are 4-5, you guys suck, and the Knicks are back. So it was.
I loved the jokes
I just
on
realized like,
Twitter.
oh my gosh, like because I don't hate Knicks fans or the Knicks at all, but I was like, if they are actually good, I definitely
gonna be
will very
assholes?
quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it was a game of chicken, and Knicks fans decided to take the bait of being like, hey, I think this is their first. I think over the past 20 years, they've only had 3 5-3 starts or better.
Yeah.
So Knicks fans are
I like
really
that
enjoying it. And dude, that's how pathetic it is. But yeah, Knicks fans are enjoying it, and they did decide to bring it to the Nets a little bit. And then after this year, Katie will come over and just go to
Exactly.
the Knicks. So
The Knicks will be cool again, so he can come back over.
the Knicks will be cool again.
Steve Stout changed the public perception. So
It's perfect. It's
all
perfect.
Everything's perfect. And if you want me to throw one nitty gritty thing out there,
Ooh.
would have liked R.J. Barrett to play the last 5 minutes. I guess
Wow.
he didn't really deserve it, but his second half was much better than his first half. Shot 4 of 8 in the second half, so like a lot better. The overall numbers were bad, but then I also looked at it and was like, well, Rivers did what he did, couldn't take him out. Peyton was good, and they don't want R.J. playing point guard anyway, so whatever. I don't think I want that either. And he hasn't played much 3. Bullock was good in the second. It's not a harsh complaint.
BBD already turning on the
Would
Knicks.
like to have seen RJ a little more.
He hates the Knicks. Bobby, we have you here to talk playoff football. And before we do that, Bobby, I am going to read an ad because we're sellouts, if we're being completely
You guys
honest.
are sellouts.
We are
sellouts.
sellouts. It sucks, man. Playoffs? You want to talk about the playoffs? Yes, that's right. Football's playoffs start this weekend, and there's no better place to get it in on all the action than DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. If you haven't checked out the app yet, there's no better time to sign up and start cashing in. I think Cuomo said that New York's going to start, or they're proposing sports betting, so that'd probably be good for us. Anyways, to celebrate most exciting football time of the football season, DraftKings is giving you the chance to double your money. All it takes is 1 touchdown to be scored during Saturday's football games, and Bobby, I think, has that take. That's right. Once you opt in and place your bet, all you have to do is sit back and wait for a touchdown. While we're all excited for football, let's not forget the 2021 basketball season has started. Just talked about the Knicks. Daily odds boost at DraftKings. It's safe, secure, and reliable, making it easy for you to deposit and withdraw your money at your convenience. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code Jomboy when you sign up to have a shot at doubling your money if a touchdown is scored in one of Saturday's football games. That's code Jomboy. Jomboy for new players to get a shot at doubling their money for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. NJ, Indiana, PA only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or in Indiana, 1-800-9-WITH-IT. So, Bobby, I guess the first question is, do you think a touchdown will be scored Saturday?
Not in Colts versus Bills, but once Rams Seahawks rolls around, I definitely think you'll be able to cash in on that.
So you might be nervous for that first game, but it should happen. Let's I think we're a Cron pod.
Sure.
So we'll go chronologically. The first game Saturday, as Bobo mentioned, Colts Bills. People are hot on the Bills, Bobby. Are you
And
in?
they should be. The Bills were good last year, and what I can't stand, I know you guys aren't much like deep in the weeds of NFL, is there's probably analytics Twitter on baseball. Well, analytics Twitter mixed with draft Twitter, like, just hated Josh Allen. Like, last year the
Right.
Bills were good. Josh Allen was all right. He wasn't playing what he was playing, but he was playing good and made like some serious strides and improvements. And they were still like, oh, Sam Darnold's better. Sam Darnold's better. Josh Allen's come out and gotten better. And he's just like a new version of Cam Newton. And he's playing into everything the Bills do. And I like the Colts team, but I just don't know how they're going to control that Bills offense with Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, man. And how about the Diggs trade, too? I mean, that was one before the season that Stephon Diggs was going to Buffalo, and you're like, oh, you didn't like Kirk Cousins. Wait till you see Josh Allen with Stephon Diggs and enjoy Buffalo. And it's like, man, that was one of the best acquisitions this year. I think, did he lead the league in receptions? Did I make that up? Or yards?
You may have, but he was really good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a stat. They have a connection. And he's finally like that true number one where, he's probably the number one in Minnesota, but he had to kind of share the spotlight with Thielen. And he's playing with the exact opposite quarterback, where you got Kirk Cousins, who is afraid to take those shots, doesn't show up in the bigger moments, where Allen's like the opposite alpha male, will take any shot. Like, if you're triple teamed, he's like, I'll give you a chance. So what they're doing with that offense, man, is like, it's special. And I think people are hot on them for like a good reason. I really do think they are the team to compete with the Chiefs in the AFC.
Yeah, and I think, I was wondering why people were so hot on the Bills. Like, and then I kind of went back through their schedule, man. They lost at Tennessee. They got beat up, but Tennessee can kind of do that on any given day. That's kind of what makes them impressive. Like, if they get ahead of you and Derrick Henry starts doing his thing like that, they start running hot. Like, that's kind of what they do. So they lost at Tennessee. They lost versus Kansas City in a 9-point game in Kansas City. They can beat everyone, and they probably will this year. Their third loss was Arizona on a Hail Mary. I had forgotten that. So we're talking about what would have been a 14-2 Buffalo Bills team if not for a Hail Mary. So I don't know. I guess. And everyone's kind of been in on Josh Allen. I think he might be third in the MVP voting this year, something like that. We'll see. Again, not that fully matters. He's just been really good, which, like you said with Sam Darnold, I mean, Josh Allen has clearly gotten better along the way. We went into his stats, and it's, the touchdowns went up, the interceptions went down, and if you can continue to improve on that, you deserve the love. And I guess McDermott's a low-key good coach, right? So I don't know. On the other side for the Colts, I really like Frank Reich as a head coach too. I think he's proven a lot of things between Indianapolis and Philadelphia. Phillip Rivers, I mean, it feels like he's doing the old man quarterback tour, but Jonathan Taylor has turned it on lately. So is that the Colts game plan? Pump it in his belly 30 times and pray?
That is, man. I might have picked the Colts against most other teams this weekend. It's just the Colts kind of have that bend, don't break defense. And with Josh Allen, the way he's able to just run people over, it kind of hurts that a little bit. But the Colts are like a really solid team. And I love the way they've built up their organization, post Andrew Luck. Like, it's kind of crazy. Like, they built everything around Andrew Luck, and they finally have the roster around him, and he retires. So to be able to do that, the thing is just Phillip Rivers has a noodle arm. Like, his arm is done. He's not doing anything special. And that'll win you a lot of games, and you could beat some of the lower teams in the playoffs. I just don't think it's going to be enough versus the Bills. Like, I think the Bills will be able to, even if the Colts offense is able to run, the Bills offense will be able to, go with them punch for punch.
Yeah. I'm excited, man. I mean, Taylor's a lot of fun.
He kind of showed, he wasn't doing much, and then he showed up in the past, month and a half.
And that's kind of, maybe Bobby, I'll feed this to you, because I feel like a rookie running back, like J.K. Dobbins right now, like a rookie running back at the end of their first season is kind of ideal. Like, you don't throw them in the deep end to start the year. Then they have fresh legs, and they're more veteran by the end of the year. That, for me, that's almost like a game plan.
Yeah, I mean, that will be the game plan. That's how the Colts have won big games over the past couple of years. Like, even when they beat the Chiefs, it really is just run that rock and do that bend, don't break defense and hope to be good in the red zone. I just don't think it's going to be enough versus the Bills. But the Colts are like, I like the Colts a lot. Like, I think this is probably my favorite matchup of the weekend besides Ravens-Titans.
Well, and that's it's kind of the beautiful thing about the NFL. I mean, there's 3 to 5 plays every game, whether it's a tip pass or it's a fumble or whatever it is that can, dictates the pace of the game. That if somehow the Colts end up 10-0, like, I don't know. I think Buffalo should be a little bit worried. I mean, you're going to lean into Josh Allen more, which you should want. But if they can just pump it with Taylor, do a little play action, Hilton's come on of late. He was so dead in the first start of this year that I was like, oh, I guess T.Y. Hilton's done, but he's been back. I don't know. I mean, a good, what do they call it? A game sheet, a game act? I always blank on this word.
Game manager?
No, just like when how the game
plan?
How the game actually plays out. Game script. The game script.
There we go.
Game script. Sports guy. But I don't know. I mean, it's the Bills, right?
Baseball.
Yeah.
Goddamn baseball company. It should be a good game. Like you said, I mean, these are two low key NFL really well run franchises.
Yeah. And think about Sean. You mentioned Sean McDermott. Think about how he started as the guy who benched, Tyrod Taylor for Nathan Peterman to throw 5 interceptions.
My God.
To where he is now, where it's like, oh, everyone wants his coordinators. Everyone wants to build the way the Bills are building. So, I thought that would have had him gone after year 1, and then, I mean, even the first year with Josh Allen, he completed like less than 50% of his passes.
Yeah.
So they stuck true with it when it didn't look good at all, and now it's paying dividends.
Dude, the OG Nathan Peterman times. I mean, I don't like being mean to guys, but it was a form of entertainment that I haven't seen on a football field.
Oh, hell no!
Sorry, BBD gets excited a lot, which we like.
We opened the soundboard floodgates. So. By we, I mean
I'm all for it.
All right. Anything else on that, Bobby? We're good?
We're good.
The next...
Oh, snap. That was lit.
He's going.
Where is that one from? I like that one.
Dude, that's our... have you seen Coach Ballgame? He's
I do. I like him.
Oh, yeah, dude. So he opens up a video because he does kid content, essentially. He does a lot of stuff, but, he coaches kids, like the youth. And so it's a video of him in his backyard. He pegs like a can from like 20 feet away, and he just turns the camera and he says,
Oh, snap. That was lit.
Sent the Talking Baseball group chat into a friend.
yeah, we like that a lot. Which brings us to Bobby's guy, Russell Wilson and the Seahawks versus the Rams. They're welcoming the Rams into town. We'll see if Goff God is there. He sat out last week. They brought in that other guy. What's his name? Wolford from
John Walford Walford. And I think you're a Vandy guy. I saw somewhere that he lost out a job at Vandy to Kendall Hinton, who was the wide receiver QB for the Broncos a few weeks ago.
Bobby, I think I'm partially offended right now. I am a Vandy man by association. But I think it's Wake Forest. Aren't they Wake guys? I think it's
every freaking time.
It's the same
I do that.
colors,
every
man.
time I screw
get it.
those two up. Wake Forest and Vandy.
I get it, dude. But I mean, if you're gonna come at me like that, but
Kyle Shermer, Vandy guy.
Dude, that yes, the Wolfer guy, he was pretty fun last week. He reminded me like if Trent Dilfer got a young body for a day, like what he would do in the NFL. If like old man Trent Dilfer could play one NFL game and like run for that final first down and yell at the sideline and just make enough passes necessary. That's a weird thing I thought about this morning. Bobby, what's going on in this game? I mean, these teams are playing for the third time, right?
Yeah, it seems like Goff is going to come back unless they're just bluffing. 2 weeks ago, the game that Goff got hurt in, the Rams lost 9-20, and then the Rams beat them in like week 8 or what? I got it written down. Week 10, 23-16. The Rams always seem to have the Seahawks number, and the Seahawks are a flawed team, man. Like when their defense is undisciplined, although in the playoffs defenses seem to be a little more dialed in. So, and they are a defense with some talent, as bad as they were in the past defense. They do have guys like Jamal Adams and Bobby Wagner. But Brandon Staley, or that's not Staley, the defensive coordinator for the Rams, everyone's been talking him up, like to where the point's like, I want to go watch the Rams defense this offseason and see what they're doing. So I think they're going to have something for Russ. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game, but I do think the Seahawks end up pulling this out in the end, like whether it's a 19-16 type of game. But I mean, these are just two flawed teams. I mean, you have Jared Goff, who has been kind of average this year, although Sean McVay has been able to coach him up. I just think Russ will pull something out at the end, although Russ hasn't been like the let Russ cook guy that everyone was saying in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, man, the Seahawks season was bizarre because they came out, let Russ cook. He's going to get his MVP this year. He hasn't gotten an MVP vote. And then he started kind of struggling, but the defense came back up. Their defense that was historically bad for these final weeks, and it helps that they finished with Philly, your Giants, the Jets, the Washington football team, and then the Rams and San Francisco. So that'll help you play a little bit better defense. But they also got healthy. I mean, that's always the NFL's, dirty secret. Like when the Seahawks defense was playing horrible, their whole secondary was out. So I don't know. I mean, for me, this just comes down to it's in Seattle. Are we believing in any home field advantages at all?
No.
Right?
No, especially on both teams are on the West Coast and in division, so they're kind of familiar with where they're going. I really wanted to go Rams in this, like I really did, because I think the Seahawks are a flawed team. I just think third time around, Russ will have something for that Rams defense. Third time around really does mean something in the NFL. I mean, it means something in every sport. Basketball is it's hard to throw something new at somebody the third time around. So I think Russ will be ready. I think it'll be low scoring, but Russ will squeeze it out towards the end.
Do you think, okay, so how about this, the third time around thing because if there's two semi-equal football teams and one team won the first two times and then they play a third time, I'm going to pick the other team because they're going to be motivated more and I can't believe these idiots beat us twice.
And they have more mistakes to fix.
These teams. What? So okay, O-line, D-line. Does the advantage go to an O-lineman or a D-lineman if you're seeing the same dude for the third time?
O-lineman, because you know what his go-to moves are. You kind of feel confident. It's like, I dealt with it this year with Thomas as the rookie left tackle. Dallas and Philly made him look bad the first two times. The second time around, he handled both of them. So it definitely goes to the O-lineman. You know what their go-to moves are and what you need to do to stop them.
So, okay, I've got a weird one for you.
And O-line gets better as the season goes along, too.
Who gets more of an advantage seeing them the third time? Sean McVay or Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson can get confused at times, whereas Sean McVay is kind of uber prepared but does similar things. Like Sean McVay's offense has an identity, so your third time around, you kind of know what you're getting from them. They're not going to totally change it up. Where Russ, some confusing looks they may look at him, he's like, okay, I know what's going to happen here.
Yeah, it's man, this Seattle franchise. I mean, Russ is so good. They go 12 and you say they're a flawed team. They go 12-4 again.
It's because Russ.
I know he's incredible. They finish out the season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6-1 to finish the season. It would be tough to bet against Russ. Yeah, that's kind of all I got.
So are you going? What are you going, Big Baby David? Big Baby
I've been
Dave?
kind of just riding the Seahawks all year. That's just kind of a feel thing, and it's just me supporting Trevor Plouffe.
Wow.
He is a big Russell Wilson guy. I forgot about that.
BBD, I forgot to tell you this, dropping in a little more Knicks. I got a text this morning from Cole Tucker.
Oh.
Biggest flex in the world for BBD.
Can we not talk about baseball, please?
Yeah. And he texted me that he's a huge Elfrid Payton fan.
Oh.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Who is it? I've never heard of a
Elfrid
huge
Payton.
Elfrid Payton fan.
Dude.
Did he give a further explanation there yet?
He said, he's like, I got so much love for him. I have his son's jersey. I'll keep it forever. So
He was on the Suns.
he's a big Phoenix guy. He's a local guy.
Oh, okay.
So.
I forgot he was on the Suns. Peyton, he's such a confusing player because
Is he? I feel like he just sucks.
into it, but just Because he has things he's good at, and I don't think any of them matter.
If he could shoot, he'd be Chris Paul. Back after 5.
Baseball.
All right, that's Seahawks. I mean, it's kind of Russ or bust there. Which, dude, Russ is past 4 games passing. 206, 121, 225, 181.
And the Rams have Jalen Ramsey, who shuts down DK.
Jalen Ramsey. If Aaron Donald could be a problem, I don't know. I'll watch.
The Seahawks if this was the second time around, I would go Rams. I just think third time around, Russ will be able to do just enough.
And, like, if Goff is limited and if Wolford ends up out there, whether he's from Wake or Vandy. All right, let's go on to Tampa versus the Washington football team. Holy smokes. Well, we could talk. I think we'll talk some Giants stuff at the end, Bobby, because that's your forte. But the Washington football team makes it from the NFC Beast. They host Tom Brady. Is this? I don't know. I'll kick it to you first. You know probably more about the Washington football team than a lot of people out there, whether it's fueled by fake hate or whatever.
They suck. They barely beat a Philly team not playing anybody. Chase Young is acting like, Chase Young has 6.5 sacks, and he's like acting like he had the greatest rookie season of all team. The Bucs are going to light them up offensively. I hope Chase Young goes up against the rookie Tristan Wirfs all day and gets shut down the way Andrew Thomas shut him down. I know this is the bias speaking out of me, but Alex Smith stinks. Like, he hasn't been good at all. I mean, Justin's in the analytics. I think his air yards per throw against Philly was 3. They are going to play them aggressive like crazy. Alex Smith isn't going to take chances. He's going to get sacked 6 times. The Bucs are going to dog walk him.
He's not good.
That was beautiful. Yeah. So okay. So the question here is, because people kind of know the Tampa story because Tom goes down there. AB's going off now. They lost Evans, right? So now it's AB and Godwin. Gronk's still hanging around. That defense, people were really excited about that Bucs defense. I haven't heard as much about them in a little bit. People have been hyping the Washington defense. Are they not for real, Bobby? Could they not give Tampa problems at least?
They can. I just think Tampa. I think Tom Brady is still good. And look at the Patriots this year compared to last year with Brady, where it's the Patriots were bad last year. It's Brady was kind of holding them together. The reason they were still able to win the AFC East. And now he has weapons. So I think Washington will give him a little bit of fits. But I don't see this game being close at all, just because Washington has nothing on offense. They are an extremely bad team on offense. So their defense is nice, but I just don't think they're going to be able to do enough to stop what the Bucs are doing.
Yeah, and they the Bucs, they've won 4 in a row. Brady's passed 3 games passing yards, 390, 348, 399. That's Atlanta, Detroit, Atlanta, so I'm not going to give him full out love on that. But also, the offense has been clicking. These guys get together. Bruce Arians, Tom Brady, AB gets added midseason, 138 last game. Is the Antonio Brown, Tom Brady thing weird to you?
He hasn't been that good, which
yeah.
is, I guess he kind of declined in the year off. It's kind of weird where you haven't heard anything. So Antonio Brown actually has behaved in his time down there. I could have. That's the one person where. A lot of times you got to have a troubled person, and it's they'll be good for a year, but after that they're fine. Antonio Brown was the guy. It's he might be good for a week and he'll be gone. We saw with with the Raiders and New England, but he's behaved. So I think he'll have to do something with Evans out. But
this past week was his only really big game, right?
Yeah,
statistically
138.
And I guess their receiving core is. Just so stacked that a lot of guys have.
Yeah, they're loaded. It's unreal the amount of weapons they have down there.
Scotty Miller.
Every time you think about it, it's really silly.
How do you guard him?
And Gronk started out so slow. It's they shouldn't even be starting Gronk. And then towards the second half, he's okay, this is why Gronk is Gronk.
And man, it's this is a really weird scope to view it through, but I keep opening the team pages and looking at their schedule by the year. They lost to New Orleans twice. One was the first week of the season, and then there was that Sunday night just blowout. Their other 3 losses Rams, Chiefs, and Bears were all 3 points or less.
Forgot about the Bears.
So, I mean, the Bears was week 5, and,
They were still kind of good.
it was at Chicago. They lost by 1 point. I mean, I'm not going to defend them too much on that, but, like, I don't know. For this Bucs team that was in the spotlight a lot because of Tom Brady, I feel like their luster went down. I don't know. Are you a conspiracy theory guy, Bob?
I like to hear them. I'm not big in believing them, but I'll hear them.
Because I think there's a chance, depending how the seeding plays out, that it would be Brady, Rodgers in Green Bay, which makes me think, I don't know, the refs could give the Bucs a couple calls if they need them.
It would if all the division winners win and the Bucs win, then yes, it would be Brady versus Rodgers in the Bay, the Battle of the Bays.
I mean, otherwise it would be what, Brady versus Russ if the seeding gets messed up potentially. I don't know.
There's
BBD said they're
Depends which of
reseeding,
the
and that
other.
just threw me all off.
the Bucks could play any of the teams because they're the top wild card team. So if all the wild card teams win, they could be the top seed
Oh,
or they could
wow.
be the lowest seed.
I like that.
Think about that.
Yeah, I mean, Washington's like really bad.
Yeah, I mean, they're 7-9. You know, I mean, they had like the Eagles had to like sit their entire team for them to win the division.
Let's say something nice. McLaurin's really good, right?
He is really good.
Yeah.
He's the number one. He would get more shine if he wasn't playing
He's
with
on
Washington
any
or a
other team.
QB who throws the ball more than 5 yards down the field.
Another sidebar conversation. And I kind of want. Actually, wait. I'll save it for when we get to Tennessee. So yeah, I mean, if somehow you believe in the Reds, almost said it. Almost said it. We're moving.
You should make a song. I'm not much of like the singing guy,
Okay.
but you should do like I've been to the playoffs on a team with no name, or you know, kind of
Into
a
the playoffs on a
with a team with no name.
There's something
Felt
there.
good to something about and make some jokes about Alex Smith destroying his leg.
Not have any leg.
I mean, you've
pain.
kind of thrown
I
our
don't know.
day off now, I think.
Yeah. No, we'll see.
Um,
We'll see. So that's the Saturday slate. So if you're the kind of person that you're only going to get one day, that's the Saturday slate. What the hell?
Do you
does
like
that
the
mean?
6 games in one weekend?
Um,
I don't. I don't want to have 24 hours of like mandatory viewing.
for me, it's like, I mean, because we're becoming like adult human. It's kind of like, what do you have that weekend? Like, if my weekend's completely free, which I think it half is, like, I'm in on this. If I can just check out all these games.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to enjoy it, but I do like the idea of like, okay, playoffs. You start games at 3 and 6:30, but
Right.
I'm not going to complain about more football too. So I'm sure I'll love it as soon
I mean,
as it
for-
starts.
I would certainly not want to expand beyond this, but if this is their way to get 2 more playoff games,
I mean, I don't want to
It's not
send shade at the
egregious.
NFC East, but if the NFC East team was better, if it was a 10-6 Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley Giants versus Tampa, like this would be a pretty badass slate.
Yeah, the Sun. Yeah, you're right.
And I guess that's where my head's at right now is Thanksgiving. Like if you have 2 stinkers on Thanksgiving, that sucks. So if 2 of these 3 games are good, I'm in on it.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, like I said, I'm not complaining, and I'm saying that now. But as soon as it starts, I'm gonna be like, I love all of this football
Oh yeah,
nonstop on the
Theoretical.
weekend. So
yeah. Awesome. Bomb.
not about nothing happened, but
Okay,
report
huge.
9 minutes ago, I got this alert that Deshaun Watson has quietly broached with teammates the possibility of requesting a trade, which sounds like it's not that quiet if we're finding out about it.
we brought up.
I had
yesterday
that
on
joke
Simple
ready to
Man-
go, which is the main reason I even hit the button.
Yeah.
We brought up yesterday on Simple Man, since the Dolphins have the 3rd overall pick because the Texans, the Dolphins should trade the 3rd overall pick and Tua for Deshaun Watson. Get the Texans their pick back and a QB.
You know I would do that. I'm not a Tua guy, only strictly because he's left-handed.
It looks so. I'm a lefty too, and it just looks so weird.
Okay, so there's an update. Trade Deshaun. That would just be good for everybody. Anyways, the Sunday slate. We're going to the AFC, Bobo, and we've got the 1 p.m. game. I like this game. I think this is my game of the weekend. Ravens versus Titans. The Titans, man, they make me laugh a little bit. I mean, it's Rabel. Like, they've got this machismo stereotype that is now kind of known. They pound it with Henry. And so the conversation that I wanted to go to was wide receivers before, because I think there's probably a deep cut wide receiver argument that you could say, like, A.J. Brown is one of, if not the best receivers in football. Like, if you traded A.J. Brown and Devontae Adams, like, what do his stats look like on the Packers? So that's kind of a whole nother thing. But I don't know, Bobby. Ravens-Titans, where are you at on this?
That is the game of the weekend. This is a rematch of last year's, playoff upset by the Titans. They played earlier in the year, went to overtime. Remember they were fighting about the logo earlier in the year. John Harbaugh was getting all mad over something kind of silly. I think this is going to be an awesome game, and I think it's either going to be Lamar's finally winning the playoffs game, or the Titans are going to just stomp them out. The thing is the Titans have a bad defense. Like, they have the 9th worst defense in the NFL. They get lit up. Like, basically every single week they have to outscore teams. But, I mean, Tannehill, like you said, A.J. Brown and Corey Davis are,
beasts.
It's a really good wide receiver duo. And A.J. Brown, I mean, I remember last year, I love their guy. He is going to be a big, big name. There's kind of a theory of, like, if you weren't drafted in the first round, it's hard for you to make your name as a wide receiver. And I really, like, if A.J. Brown's drafted in the top 10, we're talking about him way more. So, that Titans offense is amazing. It's just, can they do anything to slow down the Ravens rush offense? And they're the top two rushing offenses in the NFL. I just think it's an extremely fun matchup. This is game of the weekend for me, like, big time.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. And I'm also a big believer in the NFL, like, 4-game spurts, like, judge yourself after every 4 games. Because I do think just between injuries and everything that goes on in a football team, there's just different cycles. And the Ravens, if you go back, they lost 3 straight. They lost New England, Tennessee in overtime, and Pittsburgh 19-14, which, you look back at that and you're like, okay, couple road games, blah, 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 whatever. They've come back. They've now won 5 in a row.
They're balling. Lamar is getting better every single week.
And by the way, again, schedule is always a thing that ties into this. 5 in a row: Dallas, at Cleveland, which that was that fun 47-42 game, Jacksonville, G-Men, and then they finished with the Bengals. So I don't know, man. For some reason, and dude, this is where sports get really fun, is that these two teams, because of one football game, and, it could come down to one play. Like, you see that happen in a lot of football games. It changes the way you look at them. Like, we talk about Lamar Jackson. If Lamar wins this game, I think they're a team nobody wants to play. Like, if he looks like Lamar Jackson, that's a dude that can win any football game. On the other side, the Titans, they went to the AFC Championship last year. And, like, Henry's a beast, and Vrabel's got them, like, high T, a lot of testosterone flowing. They've got beasts on the outside. Like, their offense can light it up. And at the same time, if the Titans lose this game, like, I'm never going to believe in Ryan Tannehill just because I have so many bad memories of him.
Yeah. Are you on the Lamar struggles in the playoffs type of guy? I am, but I think this is a decent matchup because the Titans suck so bad on defense.
I mean, I just think Lamar's Lamar. Like, for me, he's a different kind of athlete. Like, there's certain dudes, and I think this is this whole Ravens team that, there was the old school NFL style of thinking of, you got to play like Tom Brady, stand in the pocket and make the throw. Like, if you build your team around Lamar and say, we're going to play this style of football, we're going to run it a lot, we're going to let him do his thing. And especially, I think injury is the biggest fear. Like, in the playoffs, Lamar, go. Like, if it's 3rd and 6, roll out right. If the pass is there, cool. If not, like, go get it, man. When he accelerates, it's something I've never, he looks like a Daniel Jones out there, Bobby.
Yeah. I mean, he's not, Daniel Jones has the fastest QB run of all time. But Lamar's right there with him.
Yeah, he's keeping company. So I don't know. I mean, I get it.
He's the black Daniel Jones.
I think that's where game script, my new favorite word, comes into play. And that's this Ravens team. Like, I would almost it's the old Madden style of thinking, like I'm going to kick off in Madden so I get the ball back at half. If I'm the Ravens team, I want the ball and I want to go up so we can hand it off to Dobbins. We can hand it off to Ingram. Like Lamar can do his thing. Because if they do go down 10 points and Lamar's got to be a drop pack passer, that's just not what he's special with.
I'm always a get the ball first type of guy, no matter what.
I like that. I like that a lot.
I like it too.
Who you taking, Bob?
I want to do Ravens. I'm going Ravens. Lamar gets his first playoff win in a high-scoring game, like 34-31.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, not every game comes down to what quarterback do you believe in, but, like, I don't know. And, dude, motivation and revenge, like Lamar and that Ravens team last year, they get bounced, and, these dudes fuel off that. So the fact that
the Ravens lose, they will fight. There will be fights on the field. I promise you.
Okay, a Bobby Skinner promise. I think I'm going Ravens to win too. This Tennessee, I don't know, man. They're so good. Like, dude, if that quarterback's name wasn't Ryan Tannehill.
Tannehill's been balling this
and he's
year.
been balling. He's been really good, but I just have this mental hurdle I can't get over because, like, dude, they're like my dream Madden team. Like, Derrick Henry and those two guys on the outside. Hell, Jonnu Smith, pretty good.
Jonnu. Derrick Henry had 2,000 yards. Like, that didn't get talked about a lot.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
He's really good.
I just think the Titans defense, like, the Ravens offense is good. The Titans offense is good. The Ravens defense is good. The Titans defense is bad. So, that's what's making me go Ravens.
Who would you rather have as a head coach, Harbaugh or Rabel?
Harbaugh. I've seen Harbaugh do it for a long time. I've seen him get to win a Super Bowl. Harbaugh. I really like Harbaugh.
I like that. Bobby, this next one, I was gonna say maybe we could keep this one high and tight, but I think you might.
Yeah, we let's keep these next two high and tight. I have to do Simple Man at 11.
You might have your hottest take. Yeah, Bobby Skinner, Simple Man Radio. It's back. Go check him out. Hot in the streets. Bears Saints, Bobby, are you going hot take Bob on me here?
I am. This is the Nickelodeon game of the week. I like the Bears. For some reason, I just view even though they're not good, I just fall in love with the Bears every year. Should the Bears, how about this? Would be a good ESPN segment.
Ooh.
Should the Bears start Nick Foles for the playoffs because of his playoff success?
I like that. No.
I'm going upset. I think the Bears defense is going to really screw with Drew Brees. I mean, they played them tight with Foles earlier in the season, 26-23, when the Saints were at full strength, basically. I know Michael Thomas is coming back, but, like, is he really coming back? I'm going upset city. I like the Bears. Trubisky has found he hasn't been good, but he's found what his game is to, like, try and be like Alex Smith and get outside the pocket.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of the NFL secret for a couple weeks, was like, oh, the Bears are kind of balling on offense with Mitch back. Like they were putting up big points. Man, I mean, they went into Green Bay, a game that didn't really matter for Green Bay and mattered for them, and they got rolled again. I mean, Green Bay is really good, but I think the Saints are really good too. I mean, Sean Payton, you talk about NFL head coaches, he's really good. Breeze, I don't know how healthy he is.
His arm is toast.
Sometimes I think they get too lost in the Taysom Hill thing. I remember thinking that last playoffs, it was like, hey, like, focus on Drew Brees, Kamara, and Michael Thomas and mix in Taysom Hill, not let's trick him with Taysom Hill every other play. So I can't do it at all. Like, this Bears team lost 6 straight at one point this season. In New Orleans, like, Drew Brees and Sean Payton in New Orleans against this Bears team, no way.
I can't explain it. I just like the Bears. I've picked them. I think I've picked them to win like 14 out of 16 games this year. I just like the Bears for some reason. I don't get why. I've fallen in love with their defense.
Maybe you'll be redeemed this weekend. So that's the afternoon game. And the night game a lot of people are excited about. Speaking of playing each other the third time, it's a heated, I call it a rivalry, but it's really been a dismantling for the past 2 decades. Steelers-Browns. The Browns won last week in a game they needed, but Big Ben sat out and rested, and the Steelers didn't really care at all. The Browns now have their COVID situation. Stefanski, who I've been giving a lot of love to on this show.
I love Stefanski.
Dude, what he's done with the Browns has been the most overlooked thing in football this year.
I watch them every week because I do a video on Jedrick Wills.
Right.
And I love what they do. Like, they play to their strengths. They went out and got the 2 tackles, Conklin and then Wills. They just play to their strengths, and they run the ball, and they get Baker outside the pocket, and don't make Baker have to think a ton. I love what Kevin Stefanski's done with the Browns. That being said, the Steelers are getting too disrespected. Like, the whole, like, are they the worst 11-0 team of all times? Like what does that even mean? The Steelers defense is so good. They're going to blitz the Browns like crazy. With Stefanski out, I mean, they beat them 38-7 in the beginning of the year. And like you said, they barely beat a Mason Rudolph-led Steelers team that wasn't playing any of their good players. Like, Watt wasn't playing. They weren't playing their good players. I think the Steelers actually win this one, like, semi-easily.
Yeah, man, I'm with you, and I think it sucks. Like, I know you and Baker have had your feuds over the years, but like Stefanski, when you start connecting those NFL dots, like I referenced with Reich and the Eagles before, if you want to do that, like, look at Minnesota right now. People used to love the Vikings and say they're the most talented team in the league and blah, blah, blah. And now Stefanski, look what he's done with the Browns, this team that never wins. They've been a joke of the sport. They won a lot of football games this year, so that being said, without Stefanski, without a couple other coaches, people do get motivated and listen. And I mean, this is big bro, little brother. I think the Steelers lay it on him, man. And I feel bad for Cleveland fans. Big Cat said this the other day, but it's like, Browns fans, are you really that mad though that you have like a built-in excuse? Like, you can look back at this and be like, oh, well, COVID and we didn't have our coach. Like, if that's how it goes out, like, is that better than if the Steelers beat you straight up?
Their last playoff game was against the Steelers. Do you remember that? I remember watching that game vividly. Tim Couch.
0-2,
they came
right?
so close to winning that game at the end.
That's, hey, I'll say that for Cleveland, how about this? Jakey spin zones. It's win-win. If you guys,
no, it wasn't Tim Couch. It was. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Who was the other QB on that team?
0-2.
Do you remember?
Browns QBs.
It was like his name started with a K.
They got beat by Tommy Maddox.
They did.
I remember that.
The guy's name started with a K, and they went into the next year as him the starter. It's Kent. It was Ken something, I think.
Is it Holcomb? Someone in the chat just
Kelly
said
Holcomb. Kelly Holcomb. That's who it was.
Good job in the
there
chat.
There you go. I came at you with the knowledge, and you came back and
oh, that wasn't me. That was the chat. The chat here is awesome. We love them.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the chat.
So yeah, you'd have to think Steelers. Huge slate. We'll start wrapping up. And speaking of the chat, Bobby. Well, BBD had a couple basketball notes. Knicks are the best team ever. Markelle Fultz torn ACL. Tough for your Magic, Bobo.
Yeah. I just like, obviously I'm close to them here in Florida. I just like them, and Markelle, like, they're just that team that's going to be like, hey, they're going to be good. They're never going to be a great type of team, but they're a well-coached team. So it sucks to see Fultz lost because he was playing pretty well to start the year too. He kind of, he'll never live up to that number 1 pick, but he kind of had found himself a nice little role in the NBA, and then tears his ACL. So that sucks.
He's like finally figured it out. And
what was he like? 14 and 4? Like, that's
Something
what he was putting up, something like that. So, sucks for him. And Isaac tore his ACL too, right? So,
yep.
So that just leaves more room for the Knicks in the playoffs.
Cole Anthony season.
We'll keep it going. Chat, you guys hooked us up with Kelly Holcomb, which I love, and that's the kind of stuff I like seeing in the comments. Because I asked you guys to leave a comment and bake the algorithm. Leave a comment, leave a review. Could be about sports, BBD looking handsome, Bobby's hair, whatever you want it to be. Max Martin, an old friend, left a comment, said, my girlfriend caught me a Wake and Jake t-shirt as a Christmas present, thinking she may be a keeper. She is. Go get a shirt. And then, Bobby, again, I don't want to time crunch you, but
Go for it. I can be late.
Lalo Lila said, the Giants could have won one more game, weeks 1 through 16, to not be depending on other teams to better their draft decision.
You know what? No one ever thought of that. That's a good point. Like no one had ever. I haven't seen that take anywhere. That's that is a very independent thought. Thank you.
I did want to ask
nuanced.
you. I wanted to ask you. It's Thursday now. We're coming off.
I had like a Tommy Boy, or Chris Paul. What? That's my favorite Saturday Night Live skit of all time.
That's so good.
You lied to me.
It's the Thursday after now, Bobby. 4 days since the Sunday night debacle. How are you feeling about everything?
I would be feeling better if Jason Garrett was fired. So we're hoping the Chargers are continue to be incompetent and hire him as the head coach. But you feel good about the direction. Missing the playoffs sucks, but like that person, so elegantly put out, we won 6 games. So it's like we're not mad that oh man, we got snubbed. When you win 6 games, you know that you probably shouldn't be in there, but we're just kind of enjoying the ride. Kind of like Knicks fans right now. It's like, yeah, are they 5-3 and 15, in 3 weeks? Will Knicks fans, be talking about how James Dolan sucks? Yes, but we were enjoying the ride.
We've never said that about James Dolan. That being said, thank you for everyone leaving a comment and and review. Bake the algorithm. It helps. You guys are the best. And you knew Kelly Holcomb, which was huge for us.
Yeah, it was going to bother me if I didn't.
Bobby, I was going to skip this, but you texted asking about it. The bro of the night. The bro of the night, it goes to, someone who stood out. Standout performance of sorts, not necessarily the best game. The first episode, when I told BBD we were doing this, he flipped it and he did a bruh of the night, and he gave it to someone who had a bad night. So I was like, okay, so that's an option. So, Bobby, I'll let you go.
I'm going to do a Big Baby Dave special. I'm going to do the bruh of the night. Rudy Gobert, dude, you get paid $200 million and you get worked by Mitchell Robinson and Jared Allen 2 games in a row. You stink, dude. Rudy Gobert is my brother night. You ruined, the NBA, forced us to go to a bubble, even though it would have happened eventually. Even though I would have done the same thing with the whole microphone thing. I thought that was hilarious in the moment, and then afterwards, I'm like, I'll just keep quiet about that. But dude, you get paid $200 million. You cry about not going to the All-Star game, and then you get worked by Jared Allen and Mitchell Robinson, who are both two young players that I like. But that shouldn't happen. Rudy Gobert, you're my bro tonight. I
love it. I love it, Bobby. I'll do a quick one. Bradley Beal put up a casual 60 yesterday. When everyone else was looking around at different stuff in the world, and I had a couple buddies that they kept casually texting his score number, and they were like, 52. 50. So Bradley Beal puts up a 60 spot. I hope he gets traded somewhere. That would be really cool because I think Bradley Beal is really good. He would be like.
I thought the Wizards were going to make the playoffs with Russ, and it's just like, oh nope, that's not happening.
Fit together either.
Yeah, Bradley Beal, man, he would be like the best number 2 out. No, I mean LeBron and AD, but he would be such a fun number 2 options on a good team, like a legit good team. So Bradley Beal.
Sure.
He's a guy who could be like the 3rd guy on a team.
Yeah.
If he's on it'd be a crazy team, but it'd be super team stuff. My bro of the night almost went a few ways. Rivers, we covered in game of the night. I was going to do Fultz. We just covered that. I almost went Ibaka, 12-14 last night. He just kind of does everything the Clippers need him to do.
Ooh.
Just a good fit. But we got
Awesome.
Julius Chassin.
Yes.
My bro of the night. First of all, yesterday got U.S. citizenship. Hilarious day to get that.
Yeah.
Who's that? Julius
He's a pitcher.
He's a bit of a vagabond pitcher, but yeah, during the craziness yesterday, he posted a picture of him getting his U.S.
It was right before he got
Congrats,
US
man.
citizenship yesterday.
You know who should have been bro tonight? Did you see the guy with the holding the podium with the big he looked like a 1970s hippie with a smile? That's my
He's
bro
got,
tonight.
The skier outfit on.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a photo is gonna go down in history.
Literally.
He just has a shit-eating grin on his face. Looks like he's from a 1970s like a hippie, and just
so dumb.
Oh man, I died laughing while seeing that
But
photo.
also with Julius Chassin.
Yes.
Today is his birthday.
Wow.
So
Happy birthday, Julius Chassin.
Julius Chassin just signed a minor league deal with the Yankees.
Wow, look at that. So BBD full circle.
Wow, that's a long
So
price.
sports were involved.
U.S. citizenship, Yankees. Wow. huge. We normally do a little what we're watching. Watch the football this weekend. Enjoy it. Is the national championship this weekend, or do they take 2 weeks?
It's on Monday.
It's on Monday, so we'll talk about that Monday then, because that's when we do. That's when we do woke and joke.
Yep, we'll see you guys there. I'm the new co-host of the show every Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Bobby's going to be the only host, actually. So, guys, go, if you don't, at Bobby Skinner. Go follow him on Twitter.
Talking Giants.
Talking Giants.
Maybe it came out last night and not this morning, but I don't know.
Talking football. Talking football, maybe coming soon. Eyes open.
We just
for
put
that.
the first video on the channel.
Wow.
So, how about that?
Go over there.
So
Andrew Thomas, Jedrick Wills, Mekhi Becton, Week 17 breakdown. How about that?
So thank you, Bobby, Big Baby David. So much stuff on the Jomboy Media Network today. Talking Nets, talking baseball, GM file, sequence, baseball, mansplain baseball. JJR yesterday, if you got 2.5 hours. U.S. won the World Juniors.
Can we do a mansplain football and I'll actually mansplain football to people? To women?
We'll talk about it. No. Talking Giants if you're into that. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you.
All right, I got to run, guys. Oh, we're still alive, my bad.
Thanks, Bobby. You're good. Run, baby.
See you guys.